Today, we analyze Marco Rubio's speech on his foreign policy stance toward Venezuela, Cuba, China, and Colombia. We'll apply our truth or circus barometer to determine how much of his words are factual and how much is emotional manipulation. Let's dive in. Unfortunately, Venezuela is not governed by a government. It is run by an organization that has empowered itself as a national state. This is an opinion-based statement, but it describes an observable political reality. Truth, 100%. There is a strong Russian and Iranian presence in Venezuela. While it is known that Russia and Iran have ties to Venezuela, Rubio provides no specifics to support the claim of a strong presence. Truth 50%, Circus 50%. In fact, the Iranians are exploring and starting to build drone factories in our hemisphere, a bold claim that requires proof. Without it, it remains speculation. Circus, 100%, no evidence, fear-driven statement. The FARC in Colombia started as ideological organizations but turned into groups that just want to sell and make money. Historically, the FARC transitioned from a guerrilla movement to being linked with illicit activities. However, Rubio doesn't specify which factions still engage in this. Truth 50%, Circus 50%. The FARC have had total support from the Cuban regime. Cuba has acted as a mediator in peace processes, but claiming total support without proof makes this a questionable assertion. Truth 50%, Circus 50%. We know Cuba has openly been friendly with Hezbollah and Hamas. He does not clarify what friendly means or provide examples, making the statement ambiguous. Circus 100%, no clear argumentation. What Vladimir Putin has done is unacceptable, no doubt about it. A straightforward statement that clearly expresses his stance. Truth, 100%, as he takes a firm position without ambiguity. But this war has to end, and I believe the official U.S. policy should be that we want it to end. He states what he thinks should be the U.S. stance. Truth, 100%. China has taken advantage of all its benefits while ignoring all its obligations and responsibilities. No specifics are given, making this a broad generalization. Truth 50%, Circus 50%. If we do not change course, we will live in a world where much of what matters to us daily, from our security to our health, will depend on whether the Chinese allow us to have it or not. A fear-based argument that lacks clear evidence. Truth 50%, Circus 50%. Now we have a president in Colombia who comes to the U.S. to ask for sanctions on Maduro to be eased, and even to open negotiations with a narco-terrorist dictatorship. This statement manipulates the information. It does not explain why Petro visited, nor the details of his request. The use of emotional labels like narco-terrorist dictatorship without proof makes this pure political rhetoric. Circus 100% due to manipulation and emotional bias. I believe Petro thinks that negotiating and helping Maduro will help him in his negotiations with Colombian groups. Using I believe gives him some credibility, as he acknowledges it as his opinion rather than a fact. Truth 90%, as it takes responsibility for his own belief but lacks factual backing. Maduro is not just a dictator. He, Diosdado Cabello, and many others are part of this. We are not just dealing with political differences, we are dealing with mafiosos. He makes accusations without providing specific evidence. Circus 100%, due to accusation without factual support. Obviously, people in Cuba are uncomfortable with the lack of electricity, but they are more uncomfortable with the lack of freedom. A subjective statement that should be supported by surveys or data. Circus 100%, as there is no proof and it's pure assumption. This is not the time to help the regime. It is time to support the people of Cuba, who are asking for what they have asked for many years: freedom. We must stand with them. Expresses his political stance clearly, based on past events. Truth, 100%. Marco Rubio blends factual statements with emotionally charged claims that lack evidence. His rhetoric is strong, but he often uses absolute terms, accusations, and omissions to push a particular viewpoint. Marco Rubio's profile based on his speech. Observed traits, firm and combative. He defends his stance without nuance. Manipulative, uses emotional and absolute terms to influence the audience. Judgmental, accuses without presenting supporting evidence. Populist, mixes facts with dramatization to strengthen his message. Rubio's rhetorical style is strong and geared toward shaping public perception. His speech blends truths with exaggerations and strategic omissions. Want more analyses like this? Subscribe and turn on notifications to never miss the next truth or circus.